Happy New Year, everybody! It's officially the year 2025, and with a new year come new movies. So today I'm going to give my most anticipated movies for this upcoming year. Let's talk about them. Hi, my name is Zach, and I started this YouTube channel because I just cannot watch movies without having to talk about them afterwards, including when I haven't seen them yet. I'm very excited to talk about these movies that are upcoming in 2025. If you find yourself the same way, you're in the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button. And while you're at it, I want this to be a conversation, so comment down below what your picks are for your most anticipated movies of 2025. Before we get into my official list, let me just rattle off a couple honorable mentions because this year is completely and utterly stacked with some really great looking movies. So in no particular order, my honorable mentions. Nobody 2. I really enjoyed the first Nobody. Kind of came out of nowhere the year it came out. From the people behind John Wick, it feels very John Wick-like. But I'm excited to get back into this world. Bob Odenkirk, I loved him in the first one. Cannot wait to see what they do with Nobody 2. Lilo and Stitch. Just based off that 30-second teaser they released, it looks like they've captured the essence of the character of Stitch. He looks cute, he looks great. Now, will the movie be another shot-by-shot remake like all these other live-action Disney remakes? We'll have to wait and see, but what I'm seeing so far, I'm really liking. Zootopia 2. Really enjoyed the first Zootopia, one of Disney Animation's best in years. Cannot wait for the sequel. How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action version. Now, this could go horribly wrong. It's the same director as the original animated film. This could end up feeling redundant in that way. This could feel like a shot-for-shot remake like the Disney remakes feel. This could feel completely pointless. But the teaser they released looks really good. This could translate very beautifully into live action. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to pull off the story of Hiccup and Toothless in live action form. Karate Kid Legends. I don't really know what to expect from this project. Still very little is known about it, but you got Ralph Macchio in here. You've got Jackie Chan coming back. I've really enjoyed Cobra Kai, and I do like that 2010 remake Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan in there. So seeing the two worlds collide, come together, very curious to see what they have in store. Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out 3. The Knives Out movies have just been a ton of fun. Cannot wait to see what stories they've put together for this third installment. Paddington in Peru. No, I'm not kidding about this one. The first two Paddington movies have been so charming and delightful. I love both those two films. And if Paddington in Peru can pull off just the 10% of charm and endurance that those films deliver for the Paddington character and this world, I think Paddington in Peru is going to be a very, very pleasant time at the theaters, and I cannot wait to see it. But with all those honorable mentions out of the way, let's kick off my list at number 10. And at number 10, I've got Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, for those who have been on the channel for a little bit, you guys know, wasn't a huge fan of Jurassic World Dominion. As a matter of fact, I didn't like that movie at all. It brought legacy characters back and completely wasted them. Plus, it hardly even focused on the dinosaurs. So I will admit, when I heard the whole idea of another Jurassic World movie coming, I had a little trouble getting excited until they started to announce who was behind the scenes. Gareth Edwards is taking over from Colin Trevorrow, so we've got a new director, new creative in there. Scarlett Johansson's in this thing. Mahershala Ali has been added to the cast. This feels like it's going to be enough of a new crew, a new thing, that I'm not going to base my excitement off of the Jurassic World movies with Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm going to let this team do their thing. I'm going to give it a shot. And if they can just give us some fun mayhem with dinosaurs like the last movie failed to deliver for me, then this is going to be, no doubt, a very fun theatrical experience. And it's Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park. When even they're not at their best, I still want to see dinosaurs on screen. At number 9, I've got Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out starring Michael Jackson's nephew. Now, I know nothing about his nephew. I don't know any about his acting ability. And to be honest, I know a lot of Michael Jackson songs. I like a lot of Michael Jackson songs, but I don't know much about the story of Michael Jackson. I know he started in little boy band with his brothers, the Jackson 5, when he was very, very young, then became the big mega pop star that we all know now today, probably the most famous pop star to ever exist. And one of the things I love about musical biopics is someone like me who's not that deep into the musical world, I will learn so much about Michael Jackson through this movie if it's done right. I'm very curious to see how they tackle certain parts of his life, because we all know Michael Jackson also had some controversy. I imagine the movie won't dive too much into that. This will probably be mostly his rise to stardom, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. Plus, you're going to have his music in there, the Michael Jackson songs playing in the auditorium through the theater speakers. Going to sound so good. I'm really looking forward to seeing Michael when it comes out later this year. Avatar: Fire and Ash comes in at number 8 because you don't bet against James Cameron. Now, I haven't loved the Avatar movies. I like the first one from 2009 quite a bit. I really do enjoy, though, Avatar: The Way of Water. What James Cameron was able to do with that film actually got me to invest a lot more into these characters and into this world. But to say that I fully love it would be a lie. Am I looking forward to seeing Avatar: Fire and Ash? Do I think it's going to be a spectacle and a technological achievement in film? Absolutely, because you don't bet against James Cameron when it comes to those aspects of film. Do I think it's going to be one that I connect with very deeply this year? The previous 2 films have told me it's very unlikely for that to be the case, but nonetheless, I need to see this movie. I'm excited to see this movie, but it's a little bit lower than I think it will be on some people's lists just for the fact that I don't love this world or characters. But James Cameron, as a filmmaker, you don't go against. He's going to deliver an experience for sure. Number 7, Predator: Badlands, or just Badlands, whatever they end up calling this thing. Now, the Predator franchise after The Predator in 2018 looked like it was dead and buried. But Prey from 2022, that really reinvigorated the franchise, brought it back to life in a fun, creative way that also took it back down to its roots and got me really excited for the future of Predator. And that's continuing with this film. Do I hope it's as good as Prey? Absolutely. Do I think it will be as good as Prey? That's a little bit harder to say. But what I do know is that my hype and excitement for Predator is still riding high off of Prey. I hope they can deliver another fun, thrilling experience with Predator in this film. I'll definitely be seated for it, and put this one in theaters, guys, please. Number 6, Ballerina, from the world of John Wick, and that's all you need to tell me, and I will buy your ticket. Now, this one has a little bit of hesitation from me, simply from the fact that they had to bring in the John Wick director to come in and do reshoots to amp up the action again. And when you're going into a movie that's from the world of John Wick, the action is the one thing that you are expecting to deliver the most. The story may not be great, but you're gonna have the action. And when it comes to Ballerina being set in between John Wick 3 and 4, Keanu Reeves has already basically been confirmed to be in there as John Wick. I love this world. I love these characters. This will be a different section of the world to explore, which I'm very excited to see how they can expand upon the lore of John Wick with this film. Ana de Armas is a star. She is amazing. She kicked so much butt in No Time to Die. I cannot wait to see her front and center stage for the action sequences in this movie. I hope the rest of the movie also delivers upon with the action sequences. But come on, it's another John Wick movie. Heck yeah, I'm gonna be there. Kicking off our top 5, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Previously, Dead Reckoning Part 2, but because Part 1's kill movies in the theater, apparently, we're just gonna name this The Final Reckoning. And this is what's looking to be the grand finale to the Mission Impossible series that Tom Cruise has run since like the 90s. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to end this epic saga of films. Not just for the fact that I really loved Dead Reckoning Part 1, that I am super anticipating to see how the rest of the story goes. I feel like they did a really great setup with the stakes that this film has to endure in that previous one. But even with that, the fact that this is the last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie. So he says that we are getting. You know he's going to pull out all of the stops. He is going to give us some huge spectacle stunts. We already saw a couple glimpses of them in the trailer itself. So I cannot wait to see them play out on the big screen with Tom Cruise one final time. Number 4, and quite ironically, is the Fantastic Four First Steps, or whatever they end up calling this thing. I hope they've changed that title. Fantastic Four has had a really rough run theatrically. We had the Tim Story movies, which really kind of failed to captivate audiences, including myself in some regards. Then we had Josh Trank come in, try to do something with Fant Four Stick. We all know how that went, and we have been clamoring and calling for Marvel to bring these characters home for so many years. They finally have them. They are in the MCU, and there's a lot of pressure on Marvel to get this right. So I am definitely highly anticipating seeing how Marvel is going to get this right. And a lot of my anticipation for Fantastic Four really comes from that alone. I haven't loved these characters in the medium that I have seen them in up until this point in my life. I think they're fine, but I haven't really gotten endeared to this group. I'm hoping that Marvel can turn that around. I hope that they can deliver an epic spectacle movie within the MCU that pushes the narrative forward, introduces us to these new group of characters who are probably going to be the big MCU stars for the next 10 years to come. So they have to get this one right, and I am very much anticipating to see how they pull it off. But an MCU movie that I'm not really that concerned with Marvel pulling off is the Thunderbolts. We'll see how it actually turns out when the final film comes out. But I have loved every single trailer and teaser released for the Thunderbolts. You could say they've shown us a little bit too much, a little bit too early. But what I got from those teasers and trailers is that this group looks like a great band of misfits coming together. I love pretty much everyone that they have assembled here, from Bucky to Yelena to Red Guardian, even seeing Ghost come back from Ant-Man and the Wasp, who I thought was a very underrated character, an underserved character used in that film or since that film. I cannot wait to see these characters come together. Whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that they're fighting against or fighting for, I really don't care. This felt like classic Phase 3, Phase 2 Marvel Cinematic Universe from these trailers. The humor looks like it's there. The chemistry looks like it's there. Even the filmmaking, it looks like they're shooting on actual real locations. It doesn't look like they're just in front of a green or blue screen for the majority of this film, which I feel like Marvel has been relying on way too much lately in Phase 4 and 5. I really hope that this brings it back to that Winter Soldier Civil War type feeling of filmmaking, and everything about these trailers and teasers has just indicated to me that I am going to have such a fun time at Thunderbolts. I really hope that it can deliver the classic MCU fun that I've grown up with for so many years. Our runner-up, shocking everyone, including myself, is Wicked Part 2. If you had told me back at the beginning of November, before I went and saw Wicked, that Zach, Wicked Part 2 is going to be the number 2 most anticipated movie on your list for 2025, I would ask you, what are you smoking? You must be crazy. Get out of my house. But then I went and saw Wicked Part 1. And the characters and the world and the filmmaking and the music, everything, the epic scope and size of it all completely blew me away. And Wicked Part 1 ended up being one of, if not my most favorite theatrical experience from last year. Everything was just immaculate on the screen. And now we've got more of that coming in Wicked Part 2. I have not seen the Broadway musical. I've not read the book. I've not read up on anything that's going to or may happen in Wicked Part 2. I just want to go back into this world, back with these characters, back into this story. I want to see it unfold before my eyes once again. I want to dive back into Wicked so badly that I've got Wicked Part 2 at my number 2 most anticipated movie of the entire year. And I am completely shocked that I am saying that with a big smile on my face right now, because I seriously cannot wait for Wicked. But even the power of Wicked can't take away from the number 1 spot being James Gunn's Superman. There is so much more anticipation with this Superman film than just comes with this being a Superman film. My history with Superman, I love the Christopher Reeves movie. I think that's a great iteration of the characters, obviously. Brendan Routh, I think, was a little bit underrated as Superman, and Henry Cavill was good in the role. I could have taken him or left him. I don't have my definitive Superman. I've never really gotten attached to the Superman character, and I'm hoping that what James Gunn's going to be able to deliver with this Superman, with this iteration, is going to become my definitive Superman. My Superman that I think about when I think about Superman. James Gunn hasn't let me down in a number of years. I love his Guardians films. What he was able to do with the Suicide Squad in the DCEU at the time was so impressive and so much fun. The fact that he is behind the camera for this movie has me with such confidence in this film. But further on, just it being a Superman film, this is the kickoff from what is the DCU going to be. Everything that this film is going to be, the world building, the characters they've got in here. Hawkgirl's already confirmed. There's a Green Lantern already confirmed. This is going to be not just our introduction to James Gunn's Superman. This is our introduction into James Gunn's DCU. It officially is going to kick off this year. Superman is going to be our first step through the door looking at the new DCU, and I could not be more excited to see what James Gunn has pulled off, not just with Superman, but with the DCU, the world that he has crafted that will be going forward for all of these years to come. It all starts with Superman, and my excitement could not be higher. That is why Superman comes in at number 1 as my most anticipated movie of the entire year. With that, guys, those are my most anticipated movies of 2025. What are yours? Thank you guys so much for joining me last year. Last year was so much fun, and it was great to have you guys. I'm so honored and privileged to have you guys come along with me into this exciting 2025 as well. If you're new here and you like content like this, I've got a bunch more content right over there. If you like lists, I've got a bunch of rankings right up there, and I've got another video that you can check out right down there. I'm sure you'll find something you like. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and hearing me out. Don't just watch movies, talk movies. I'll see you guys next time. Happy New Year.